The stock was down 10%.
Yeah.
It got halted. It's now down 25%. Is this because Credit Suisse said, actually, we're not going to touch it anymore?
Yeah, it's a huge drop, right? I've just seen it, 29%. I'm like, wow, that's huge value destruction. I think Credit Suisse is part of this. It's all a sentiment-driven story, right? Like, you know, if they can get back that confidence, perhaps the situation could reverse, at least in part. But yeah, it's exactly the kind of news that Adani does not want, because it suggests that certainly some investors, some lenders are still very wary, despite a very big share sale yesterday. And you can see that in the share price, and that is absolutely huge, that drop.
So what do we know about the Credit Suisse decision? This is basically, first of all, explains how this collateral works.
Yeah.
And is it because they have no confidence in Adani, or they just don't want to touch it right now?
Yeah, I can get in some pretty niche finance in here. So this is Credit Suisse's private bank. And effectively, this is in relation to margin loans. So previously, before this sort of saga started, Credit Suisse, if you owed them money, they might, you know, obviously loan you money and take collateral against that. And they would sometimes say, OK, we'll take your Adani shares and we'll value them at 75% on the dollar, 75 cents on the dollar. Now they're saying, we're not going to take them as collateral at all, i.e. they effectively say there's no value, at least in their kind of risk perspective. So that's a big change. And it's, so far as we understand it, Credit Suisse is the only one that's been reported to be doing this. But obviously, you know, bankers are a bit like sheep, maybe others follow. And certainly sentiment-wise, this is not a good look. You know, this is a big, big bank with a lot of rich customers saying, we don't actually want to have this on our books.
Do we understand how interlinked with global finance Adani groups actually are?
Yeah, well, that share price is a real problem because basically credit, all the kind of bonds off this are all in some ways going to be linked to this. So, for example, at Credit Suisse, let's say they were accepting collateral, that big drop in the share price might well require them to be like, oh, well, those shares are worth less, we need more of them or we need other collateral. So it's all follows kind of the stock market and the sentiment. And what Adani really needs to happen is that stock price to stabilise, they restore, inject a bit more confidence, and then this sort of doom loop, as some might say, would hopefully stop.